had the best window. All things being considered. Now we are talking experience. We are talking money spent on players. We are talking positionally. We are talking club structure. We are talking wages and everything. Who are the best transfer window?
Hello and welcome back to my channel. I will be reacting to the Who Won the Transfer Window from the Football Fans Tribe. As usual, you can go and check their content over there. We'll be discussing who I think had the better transfer window and who had the most impact signings and who spent the most. Yeah, so let's get into it.
Confess, I'll confess. And this is the reason why if we don't make him, that man not just sack, but beat and sack. I dey tell you,
You have been too violent.
beat, see, make them flog and then sack her on top.
Wow.
We cannot sign 8 players, 8 solid players. If we talk in terms of spending, the only one where I feel like we spend maybe wrongly is Madueke.
Yeah.
But yesterday he was our best player in the pitch. Surprisingly, you understand? So for me, I go tell you say Arsenal get the best transfer window. The number 9 where we find, we don't get them. The wingers where we find in time of Martinelli and Tross had been not turn up. We don't get them.
Yeah.
Saka backup, we don't get them. No longer excuse again.
Yeah.
Matthew Gana get like 2 people now if you play in same position. We said Thomas Partey, we signed 2 DM. Bini Zubimendi and
Jorginho left too.
Eh?
Jorginho left.
The uncle Jorginho himself, you understand? But at the same time, Partey leave. We signed Zubimendi and Christian Nogard. Those are perfect replacement for a DM.
Yeah.
That's why I say their football, this is very different.
This is where I would disagree, right? I do not think Arsenal had the best window in terms of either money spent or signing of impact players. Yes, Arsenal eventually got the striker they needed, but the truth is, even with the striker, we needed one more to actually have that level of confidence in the way our season is going to go. And for me, in that Arsenal team, the impact players that we got, that is supposed to be the only player that is supposed to add depth to our team, is Eze. And even with Eze, I'm not sure how much of an impact is going to have yet, considering the manager we have. If we had someone else in charge, we had the kind of manager that will allow players to have freedom to play the way they want to play, then I can agree that yes, Eze is going to be a very impactful signing. But we all know Mikel Arteta, we all know how rigid he is, we all know that he has his favorite players, we all know that one way or the other is going to want people to follow his instructions, he's going to want, especially a talented player like Eze, to follow his instruction. And if we consider that as part of the reason for the impact Eze is going to have on our team, I really don't see that they are really an impact signing. And second of all, most of the players we bought were replacement. And if you ask me, pound for pound, Nogard and Zubimendi compared to Partey and Jorginho, for me that is a downgrade. Thomas Partey last season was our best midfielder by far, probably our best player. And yeah, I know that at the end of the season, the award for best player was probably given to Declan Rice, but for me, Declan Rice was not even close. Obviously, but Declan Rice put in a lot of good performances in the Champions League. That's probably why he got that award. But in my opinion, Thomas Partey was our best midfielder by far. In fact, our best player. Thomas Partey was the reason we controlled a lot of games. Was the reason we dominated so many midfields. The big games we had, Thomas Partey was the major reason why we played the way we played and didn't lose matches. So many has come in, like I said before, he probably will still need time to adjust and then obviously be part of the way Mikel Arteta wants him to play in the team, but we don't know when that will happen. Mikel Merino came last season from Real Sociedad, the exact same place Mene is coming from. And then up till now, he has not yet found a way to slot properly into our midfield. So I don't know how long it will take Mene to slot properly into our midfield, right? So if you ask me, that is a downgrade on our midfield. Yes, we've added Eze, but Eze alone cannot make the level of impact we want for our team this season. And the truth is, Mikel Arteta is a rigid manager. Mikel Arteta will want him to be running back and doing all sorts of other things, like playing for the team, so to speak. And we all know this guy is a free player. He's the kind of player that you give the level of freedom for him to operate the way he wants to operate. Yes, we added Mosquera to our squad, but at the same time, I can argue that if we had kept Tomiyasu is also a very, very good player. Apart from his injuries has let that guy's career down at Arsenal. We all know how good he was when he was fit. So if Tomiyasu had not left, right, he would have still been a very, very good player for us. Even if we are thinking, oh, Mosquera is a very, very good replacement for for Saliba. But the truth is, Tomiyasu was also a very, very good player, and Tomiyasu was supposed to be that guy. But injuries obviously let his career down at Arsenal. Now Mosquera has come in. If you start saying anything about impact concerning that particular part of the pitch, the truth is, it doesn't make that much of a difference in the grand scheme of things. And yes, obviously we got Madueke to be a cash replacement on the right, but we also had Reece Nelson. For me, Reece Nelson and Madueke, there's not much difference between the two, but Arteta decided not to play him for reasons known to him. Reece Nelson could play on the left and on the right, but we decided to let Reece Nelson go. So if you ask me, most of our business has been replacements, not particularly signing the extra manpower on the pitch to do what we really need to do this season.
Time of playing and everything, but like, it's not a bad signing. The money spent well. For the lack of Real Madrid, Liverpool, Barcelona to come for this same guy, and we get him for that same price, bro, it's not a bad signing. Then the defensive option, Saliba come out yesterday. We don't even know if Saliba don't come out for that match. For how much player? 30 million.
Yeah.
This guy say
we grida him into another grida you.
See
to come out for Valencia. He get the one beholder.
Bro, then they say, okay, you say no one sign contract, but stay that one season. Mono say you can't go free transfer. But he say no. But for a defender now to choose to come where Gabriel and Saliba did, that boy get mine.
We also need to understand that we at the same time let Jakub Kiwior leave. Jakub Kiwior took him time to adapt to the team. I remember 2 seasons ago when he was playing at left back, he was playing well for a while and then he fell off. And then Arteta decided to keep him on the bench and then gradually slotted him back into this left centre back and then took him time. He could have helped us toward the end of last 2 seasons, but obviously he had not adapted to the team yet and then he needed time. And now that Jakub Kiwior has properly adapted to the team, we can consider him to be a reasonable replacement for Gabriel when he got injured. We have let him go. We are bringing in another person that we don't know if he's going to be very, very good for us. So these are the things we need to consider. We lost our midfield general in Thomas Partey. We brought in Iberichi Eze. For me, obviously we are still going to have to wait to see how Eze performs too.
Now we get the best transfer window. If anything happened to this league this season, you know where.
Like I said previously, Arsenal did not have the best transfer window. In terms of signings, Manchester City had the best window. Towards the end of last season, Pep Guardiola realized that his team was going to need a full overhauling, and then the overhauling will obviously require them letting a lot of players go and then replacing them with fresh players that is going to help them compete. And then they started buying players from January. They understood that if they didn't buy these players early enough, they would not have been able to buy all the players they needed to, overhaul their team in the summer transfer window. So they bought about 3 to 4 players in January transfer window and then completed their total overhaul this summer. They probably bought within the January transfer window and now they bought about 9 players. They did all their business in 2 windows, 2 very close windows. That was always going to be their plan. If it was possible for them to buy all their players this summer, they would have done it. But obviously we know that regulations would not have allowed them to do that. That's why I think they had the best window in terms of players bought, money spent, and then followed by Liverpool. Obviously, looking at how much they spent over 400 million to buy impact players. First of all, they bought Gyökeres, who for me is a very, very, very good signing. And then they replaced Alexander-Arnold with Frimpong, and I believe Frimpong is probably a bigger upgrade in terms of impact on the right hand side. The way Arne Slot currently plays, I believe Frimpong fits that style better than Alexander-Arnold. And then obviously signed Alexander Isak, signed Ekitike. These are proper upgrades and proper impact players that is going to obviously improve their team one way or the other. Now look at Florian Wirtz, for example. They signed Florian Wirtz for 150 million. Florian Wirtz is supposed to be that guy to come and become their creative maestro. Maybe now it's not looking like the guy is as good as the hype, but we need to give him time because he just came to the Premier League and we all know how Premier League can be for some players. To take them time to adapt and obviously fit in to the way the league is designed. So we need to wait and see if it will eventually work out. But the point is, they made active efforts to sign players that are not supposed to be replacements but actual impact signings. Isak is not supposed to be a replacement. They've been chasing Isak from the beginning of the window. Wirtz was not a replacement. Wirtz added to their midfield, despite their midfield probably winning them a league last season. And then obviously they still have Salah. Yeah, they lost Diaz, but in my opinion, losing Diaz for me was not much of a part deficit, because Diaz, to be fair, played a very, very crucial role to their title challenge last season, but it was not really constant. Gakpo has always been their starting left winger. Diaz was only playing as a false 9 when they needed someone, because they didn't want to use Nunes and Jota was injured for majority of it, but buying Isak and Ekitike for me is like massive signings. So in terms of impact, I believe Liverpool has signed more players. Definitely not Arsenal. And in terms of money spent, it's definitely Man City.
If money na water, then everybody forget Boho. But right now Arsenal get the Boho. Balance midfield, and the striker wey they been kept before Havertz, they stop trusting in old prostitutes. Because Havertz na old prostitute. You go score this one before you don't go injury. You don't derail the team. You don't demoralize the team. Before you go come back now, obviously Saka, as far as they come back, Saka they going home. It has always been that level, that way. But now Arsenal get. You understand that legend? A lot of players waited there, but now Arsenal they look into the future. Replacements day. So I was saying that Arsenal, you know why I cannot give it to Liverpool? Them not getting Gay was me not giving it to Liverpool because Liverpool replaced everything. Slot revamped the squad.
Yes, I think I have to fairly point out the fact that Liverpool were not able to get Gehi. Well, that's probably the only part of their squad I would say they did not properly fix. But in my opinion, Liverpool has never really been that team that relies on defense anyways. They've always focused on their attack. Now they've gotten too much firepower. They've upgraded too much in their attack. So I do not expect their defense to be an issue for them. They are probably the kind of team that will obviously outscore every team they may meet, right? Obviously, we can see from the first 3 games, except for the Arsenal game, first 2 games, their defense was almost letting them down, and then their firepower came to rescue them. So they've always been that team that relies on attack, and they've obviously done more than enough to provide more depth in their attack. So I still think Liverpool have the best window in terms of impact signing. I think I'll stop there for today. That's all for today. Please like, subscribe, and then obviously follow the Football Fans Tribe. You can also check their content out. They are doing amazing work right there, and I'll see you next time.